to Roscoe's World. My name is Josh, and today is finally the day. Today we are going to start the animation process for my new series, Roscoe's World, Volume 1. In the last video, we went ahead and recorded our lines, and now it is time to start the animation process. I think the first thing we should probably do is take a look at the script and kind of get an idea how we're going to do this, because again, I've never really done anything like this before. A lot of this I'm kind of doing it as I go along. Now, I did a little bit of animation when I first started Roscoe's World. I wanted to be unique. I thought about having a animated character, and I really wanted to maintain that I was going to keep that. If anything that I'd created that was in a digital space, like videos or something that you're watching on the internet, I was going to be an animated character. The problem with that is that every video took way too long to make. I could never maintain a steady schedule of animation of videos because I had to animate everything in the video. It just took way too long. I decided just to go ahead and use my regular face as you're seeing now. I haven't really done much animating since then. It's been at least a couple years. It's gonna take me a little bit to even remember how to do this. We'll get through it. We're in this first scene. All right, we've got right here, chapter 1, internal. This is gonna be a real video right here of me talking like I am now. Exterior, show the city, get a little closer to the city until we see Josh and Roscoe. So it looks like I've already put in some notes of how I want the show to go with the animation. I don't think we need much. I'm definitely gonna go ahead and change some things up as I go along, especially when I hear the playback of the voices that I did. We're gonna go ahead and load up Adobe Animate. Now, there is a program called Adobe Animate Character. I thought for a long time that's what I was gonna use. That program primarily uses a webcam where I talk into a webcam and that program animates, but I don't think my acting is good enough to pull that off. So these are all my super old files of some of my past videos that I had animated. So this is Adobe Animate. I don't want to say it's straightforward because it is very complicated to use. It took me a long time to figure out how to do this. But you have your background or your main stage. It's best to think of it as a main stage, like you're putting on a play here. So you have your main stage here, and you're sitting in the audience pretty much. Okay, so you have this whiteboard, which is what's going to be exported, what's going to be seen. Down here you have your timeline, and these little squares are a frame. So when we first set up this project, we put it at 24 frames per second, and so these are 24 boxes per second for every second of video there is. And then over here we are going to have our layers, and this is where you have every piece that you add has got its own layer. So for example, my character Josh, he's going to have a bunch of layers. He'll have his hands, he'll have his arms, his forearms, his upper arms, his neck, his eyebrows, his mouth. I mean, every piece of him gets its own layer. At least whatever piece you want to move will have its own layer. And so we're gonna have lots and lots and lots of layers, and we're gonna have to utilize these folders to minimize how many layers we see at any one time, so we don't get confused when we're trying to animate. And the rest of it, we'll kind of get into it as we go along. You can break the animation up into scenes, you know, scene 1, scene 2, scene 3. But when you export it, for whatever reason, and I'm not sure why that is, for whatever reason, you can't hear anything when you export it in scene 1. I have done everything I could think of to try to fix that. The sound, for whatever reason, doesn't come in until scene 2. I don't understand why that is. So if you do anything with Adobe Animate, don't put on a whole lot of time into the scene 1, because you might as well just have scene 1 as a throwaway and then start on scene 2, because unless somebody knows why that is or what I'm doing wrong, but for whatever reason, the sound just isn't there on scene 1. We're gonna start on scene 2. I think we're just gonna go ahead and do everything in order, just to kind of make it easy on me. So this first scene, we are going to be on an outward angle here, you know, out in the desert, and we're going to be zooming in on the city. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of the photos from the book and use them for the animated series. Seeing how we're going to see the city, the outside going in, we're going to take the same image that I took from the book and use it for the scene. this one right here. You see, we're gonna be in the desert, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna zoom in. So now that we have that exported, we have our first background. So we have our first one. Now, you see this little tiny dot down here. This is the first marker for the scene. So now what we did is we extended the time for this particular scene. So what we're gonna do is we have our blank. So this is where it starts. Now, all these blank spaces are just duplicating this particular scene. If I want to change it, I need to go over to this particular frame and readjust this image. Now, I never could get the timing between frames just right, because if you go too far out, it's too slow and it's not a believable zoom. If it's too close, then it's too fast. Typically with character, it would be like every other one or every third one that you'd put a blank keyframe in. Okay, so we entered a keyframe there, we adjusted it, and we hit this little insert keyframe. So that means that, think of it as like a picture. Okay, it took the export area, that white screen has taken a picture of what is shown in that export screen. We just took a new photo, so if we go like this, still the same, new. So this is why it takes so long to animate, because you have to do every little dot, every other one, all right? Just for 4 seconds, you have, what is that, 97 frames to do, you know, just for 4 seconds of animation. It's insane. Okay, so we're getting that frame here. It is about 4 seconds, so that works out, because I want this first scene to have that first animation process. So it's going to say, you know, in a small town in a desert called Henderson. Well, that's going to be this 4 seconds. All right, but I have to make this zoom last the 4 seconds for that scene. Maybe my adjustments are too big. I don't like it. I think I may have to build it in After Effects, at least this first part. Yeah, see, it's like, it's all over the place. I don't like that. Welcome to Adobe After Effects. After Effects is a very complicated program to use. They're all complicated, I'm not gonna lie. It's hard to explain. It's sort of like Animate. After Effects will move it without and have it be more flowing rather than jarring. It'll flow better, I think, and I'm hoping. We're gonna have the same thing that we had in Animate, okay? Same thing. Over here we have the same thing that we have in Animate. We have the layers, okay? So you have the Henderson PNG, which is this picture here. Henderson PNG, which is the same thing as right here, all right? So this screen over here is going to be your layer screen. And then you have the timeline, just like in Animate, the timeline, all right? Now the difference between Animate's timeline and After Effects' timeline is these little boxes. There's no boxes here, which is why After Effects will be perfect for what I'm trying to do with this first scene. So in this first scene, you have the outward angle of the city, a small town in a desert. Okay, you see a small town and a big desert. So what you're gonna do, zoom into the town to where we see Josh driving home to see Roscoe. This should make it easier because, like I said, in Animate, it's too jarring. But with After Effects, it'll be a lot more flowing. So what we're going to do is we are going to hit this little arrow button to bring down the transform thing. And we're going to hit it again. And then you have anchor point, position, scale, rotation, and occupancy. You see these little stopwatch characters? Think of them as just like in Animate. These are the pictures, the frames, okay? So just like these, this is little stopwatch points, just like in After Effects. So we want to take a picture or a frame of just this. This is the first where it starts. This is the starting point. So we are going to hit this little position and scale, because those will be the 2 points that will be alternating and changing for the scene. Now here you see that it's got 0 to 4 seconds. So we really only need to have 4 seconds. We don't need anything else. So we're just doing 4 seconds, all right? And this should make it a bit easier, hopefully. Let's do this. We got our starting point. Let's get our end point. Right here, we are going to hit this instead of the stopwatch, because the stopwatch starts it. If you hit it again, it ends it. So just like a normal stopwatch, start, end. So if you want to add to it after it's already been started, you need to hit these little keyframes. All right, so hit that one and hit that one. All right, now we are going to change this. Okay, where do we want it to be? Now if we were to go down, all right, we're starting here. You see this little line here? It's gradually bringing it to where it needs to be. If we were to do this in Animate, I would have to physically put keyframes to make it more fluid. All right, so zoom, and if I did it here, clunky, clunky, clunk, 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 clunk. It's like we're big cloggers. You see how that looks? See, that's what I want. It's gradual. It's automated. That's definitely what we're gonna do. So we're getting rid of this, and we're going to add it. All right. Now we're gonna zoom in. All right, and now we've got that free-flowing scene. Now we're going to add the sound. So if we wanted to, all right, now we have our voice. All right, now we're back at the beginning.
In a small town in the desert called Henderson lives a boy and his dog.
All right, it's all right. Not the best by any means, but I knew that going in that this wasn't gonna be like top of the line. No matter what I do, it's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be up to what I envision it to be, because I don't know how to do any of this. Maybe I should just do the best I can and live with how it turns out. I don't know. I mean, we're already struggling with this, and it's the very first scene, and I haven't even done any animating. Like,
In a small town in the desert called Henderson lives a boy and his dog.
all right, that's what we'll do. We'll shorten that up, and we'll jump to, where is it? This scene next. That's gonna be fast. Yeah, it's 1 second. I mean, God, that is fast. That is fast. I don't think I could show another scene in 1 second. What would be the point of that? All right, I think I'm gonna scrap the idea of Josh driving home from work. It's too fast. I think I'm just gonna jump straight to Josh being home, seeing his dog, Josh and Roscoe. That way, I can extend it the rest of the way. All right, I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'll get rid of that, and we'll just jump to this scene here. Right here, this one. Maybe I do some close-ups where it says Josh lives, a boy and his dog, Josh and Roscoe. So what if I do an animation where Josh pulls up, gets out of the car, you do a close-up of Josh, close-up of Roscoe, and then it'll jump into Josh always had a special bond with his dog. Yeah, that could work, I guess. Oh, we're gonna have to get rid of the car. See, that's the thing with animation, you have to think in layers. So if I want to move this car as they're pulling in, the car can't already be sitting there. So I'm gonna have to delete this, go back to this, and delete this. This is called the library. This is where everything you add into the file will be saved in this library, so you can reuse it again. If you change something, you kind of have to replace what you had. All right, so Josh, what's gonna be is we'll start the car here, and he'll turn in, get out right here. It just occurred to me that this driveway belongs to this house. So basically, I've been parking in my neighbor's driveway. Oops. Oh well, screw it. It's fine. It's too late to change it now. All right. It's okay. He let me park there. Hopefully, people don't realize. Oh. Alright, now we need to get the car, and we need to put Josh in it. Maybe we don't put Josh in it at all. Yep, we're gonna have to use After Effects. God, why? Yeah. Alright, that's good. here, and now we're gonna be, so when we get to boom. Alright, we want the rotation. Alright, let's see how it looks. Oh, that's good. See, that's why I like After Effects. Everything is kind of a lot more easier. And technically, you could animate in After Effects, but every time I've ever tried, it turned out way worse than if I would have done it in Animate. So I'll think I'm just gonna, on the animation parts, the movements of the arms and everything, I'll use Animate. Everything else in between, we will use After Effects. And we will bring that here. Alright. Alright. We will delete this. Alright.
Lives a boy and his dog.
Okay, that's right.
In a small town in the desert called Henderson lives a boy and his dog.
Cool.
In a small town in the desert called Henderson lives a boy and his dog, Josh and Roscoe. In a small town.
Alright, so not bad. Alright. Looks good, sort of. Sort of capturing that. Well, we've been working on this for what, 2 hours, and we've done 3 seconds. This is going to take forever. Oh, God. What? I don't know why I have to be so ambitious. I could have just done a coloring book and been done with this project. But no, 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 no. This project needs a book, and it needs an activity book, and it needs a coloring book, and it needs clothes, and it needs an animated series. It never ends. Oh, God. Alright. 2 hours on one sentence, and we haven't even done any animating. Josh always had a special bond with his dog, Roscoe. Every day when Josh came home from work, Roscoe was always there to greet him with a wagging tail and a happy bark. Technically, I'm a little ahead of myself. What if I see Josh getting out and Roscoe perking his head up to know that Josh comes home, and then the next scene where it says Josh always had a special bond with his dog, Roscoe, we see them greeting each other outside. That's what we'll do. Yes, okay, I like that. Yeah. So how do I do this? Why does he look like that? I don't understand. It looks, I don't like it. Really gotta go bigger than that? Like, come on. My God, how big does he need to be? There's no need to do anything else because it's like literally half a second, I think.
Josh and Ross. In a small town in the desert called Henderson lives a boy and his dog, Josh and Roscoe.
Split this up and make it longer. It's too fast. So we're gonna cut this and we're gonna add a break here. Pull this out. Push this to here. here. Alright, let's try it.
In a small town in the desert called Henderson lives a boy and his dog, Josh and Roscoe.
Alright, I think I'm going to take a break. Let's save this. Alright, so we're at least off and running. I think the thing to focus on is no matter what I do, it's never going to be as great as it is up in here. But I think we're off to a good start. Could it be better? Absolutely. But I think it's pretty good so far. I mean, I can't judge it too much. It's 3 seconds. So, but we're moving forward, and that's what matters. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching this first part of the animated series. On a personal level, I'm really thrilled that I'm doing this. I know it's going to be difficult and hard, and I'm going to lose my patience and regret everything that I'm doing, but I know in the end I'm just going to be so proud of this. When I first started this, I had no intentions of ever doing anything like this, and then it just kind of grew into something amazing, and I felt like it deserved this. It deserved an animated series that kids can watch and enjoy, and so I can't believe after I started Roscoe's World 3 years ago, and I'm getting ready to do Volume 2 in January, and it's been a long road and a lot of ups and downs, and the fact that I'm finally here on this first day of the animation process for Roscoe's World Volume 1, it's unbelievable, and I can't believe I'm doing it. And so I thank you so much for watching this. For the very few people that watch it, I thank you, and I hope you continue to follow along. If you're interested in this kind of stuff, or you want to follow my journey as I navigate this massive, massive project of mine, please hit that follow button, and I will see you in the next video. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.